Hello everyone and welcome to Mr. G's. Do what you can with what you have where you are. These are not only words by an American president, Teddy Roosevelt, but these words are also a perfect motto of what we will be doing today. That's right, we will be baking pizza, especially pizza American style. Have fun!
We only need few ingredients for the American pizza dough. We need 1 kilogram of flour, 7 grams of dried yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 cups of lukewarm water. To start making the dough, you take a bowl and pour in 2 cups of lukewarm water, and then you use a fork to stir in the yeast and a tablespoon of sugar. And then you let it stand for a while to let the sugar and the yeast do their work.
After 2 or 3 minutes, you take the flour and a teaspoon of salt, and you add the flour and the salt one after another, right? And then you start kneading for quite some time. Let it be 10 or 15 minutes until the dough is smooth and elastic. See you later. Once you're finished kneading the dough and you're happy with the consistency of the dough, you take the dough and place it back into the bowl. And you cover the bowl with a damp kitchen towel. Well, and then you let the dough rest until the dough has doubled in size. The ideal temperature, rising temperature, is about 25 or 30 degrees. Should your room, your kitchen, be too cold, well, then just use the oven. Heat it at 25 degrees and give the dough some warm resting time. In the meantime, let us talk about water temperature. Because there's one question: how warm is lukewarm? Well, there's an easy way to find out, and it's a strategy you should know later on when you have kids yourself. Well, imagine one day you will have a little baby, and then it's time to give your little baby a bath. How do you know that the temperature is just right? Well, use the elbow test, because the elbow is very sensitive to temperature. So, let your elbow sink into the bathing tub, and should you feel comfy, so relaxing, then the temperature is just right.
After resting time, the dough has doubled in size and looks like this. Time to start cooking the sauce. Here you see what we need for our American pizza sauce. We need some olive oil, an onion finely cut into dices, a clove of garlic, also finely cut, a can of tomatoes, black pepper, salt, a tablespoon of pizza spice mix. Usually it's a combination of oregano, basil, rosemary, thyme and savory, and a swig of white wine vinegar.
And here's what we have got to do in order to cook our American pizza sauce. Well, we take a cooking pot and heat some olive oil. Once the olive oil is hot, we cook the onion and the garlic until they have gotten completely soft. Then we add the tomatoes and the spices and, well, let the sauce simmer for some time on medium heat. Simple. And here you go. Garlic. Alright. Time to add the tomatoes. Teaspoon of salt. Black pepper, tablespoon spice mix, and the vinegar. As long as the pizza sauce is cooking, well, we can prepare the pizza crust of our pizza. So what we need is, we need a pizza pan, a rolling pin, some flour to dust the surface with, and of course a ball of dough. So let's see. Take the rolling pin, roll out the dough in order to form round, lovely pizza crust, which we will place in our pizza pan here. Okay, looking good. You might also want to put a bit of olive oil on that pan. This way pizza will come off more easily later. See? Okay, looks great. Now let's talk about pizza toppings.
Here is a selection of pizza toppings we can use. We've got our pizza sauce, spinach, mushrooms, onions, broccoli, corn. We've got ham, salami, peppers, and of course tons of cheese. So what are we gonna use today?
I've got it. Since America is the land of the free and the home of the brave and the land of plenty, we will just use a bit of everything. Let's start with the sauce. And finally, we finish with lots of cheese. And when you feel like it, you might want to use some pizza spices and sprinkle a bit over our pizza. Time to bake it. When you bake the pizza, make sure your oven is running on full power. The pizza is finished when the cheese has turned golden and the crust is crispy. Now would you look at that? Pan pizza, American style. Well, let's cut it into slices and hand one over to Uncle Sam and let's see what he has got to say.
It's a masterpiece, I tell you. It's a great example of American pizza making. You can't be better than this. It's awesome. But, hey, that dude over there looks to be troubled.
Certo, I'm in trouble. See, what is this? You Americans have to Americanize everything. We give you opera, and you give us musical. We give you the art of cinema, and you give us Hollywood. And we give you crispy Italian pizza, and you give us American soggy bottom meat vegetable cheese pie.
Look, buddy, I think you've forgotten about one great American principle. It's the principle of the melting pot. Here is how it works.
So here's the story of the melting pot. You can think of our great nation as one gigantic melting pot. That's right, because what has happened over centuries is we have accepted and welcomed millions of immigrants into our nation. Well, and as they started living in our country, they mixed and melted and mixed and melted. You know the story. And, well, the result of that melting process was simply the finest creature the world has ever seen, the American man. Progress. And the pizza tells us the same story. Thank you for bringing us that concept, Italy. We just made the concept a bit better. That's what we Americans do. We just make things a bit better. Progress.
You might call your principle progress. I call it regress principally. So, let me explain what a true Italian pizza is like. A true Italian pizza, the crust has to be thin, light and crispy, and not thick, chewy and fluffy like your American version. Then, the sauce is simply pureed fresh tomatoes, and not cooked tomato sauce. This is what we use for pasta. Toppings. We only use few toppings. Fresh herbs and some cheese. And mozzarella is the only true pizza cheese. We don't use a mixture of multiple toppings and also meat and even more cheese than is good for you. And the baking has to be done on a hot stone in a wood-fired oven, and not in pans in a kitchen oven. That's not what a true pizza is like. So, have you understood the differences and what a true Italian pizza is like? Alright, Mr. G. Show us how to bake a typical pizza margherita, named after Queen Margherita of Savoy after visiting Napoli in 1889. Take this recipe, but treat it with honor. It's from my mama.
Well, thank you. I feel truly honored. I really do. But, all right. I'm afraid I don't have a stone baking oven in my yard.
You do not have a stone baking oven in your yard? Mi dispiace. I feel very sorry for you. Then fake it by using your kettle grill and a pizza stone. Here. Wear that apron. And take that cap. It will help you to manage that magic task.
Let us try mastering that magic task of producing a true original Italian pizza. A verace pizza napoletana, as the recipe says here. Let's see. Oh, they seem to be very strict on the ingredients here because we need a very special wheat flour, Doppio 0, 1 kilogram. It's a very fine and powdery type of flour. Then we need yeast, of course. Beer yeast is best, and only 2 or 3 grams here. This is a quarter of a teaspoon, not more than that. Then we need 2 cups of water, all right, and sea salt, 30 grams. That will be 3 teaspoons of sea salt. Well, that seems to be it. No sugar?
Zucchero! No!
No sugar. Let's see how it works. First, we take the yeast and sprinkle it over the flour. Make sure you mix everything well. Second, we mix the water and the sea salt. 1, 2, 3. And after 5 minutes, we add the salty water to the flour and start kneading. This will definitely take some time, 10 minutes at least, until we've got the consistency we want. And again, once you've reached the consistency you want, place the dough in a bowl, cover it with a damp kitchen towel, and let it rest for at least 1 hour at room temperature. After resting time 1 comes resting time 2. For that, we take the dough, form balls having the weight of roughly 200 or 250 grams, and place these balls in airtight containers. These containers we will send into our refrigerator, and there the balls will wait for us for 48 hours. That's right. You have to plan in advance. All right. That's the last one. Okay. See you day after tomorrow.
In order to bake our pizza Italian style, we would need a wood-fired stone oven. Sadly, we don't have one here. Instead, we will be using our kettle grill and heat it, fire it with charcoal. All right, let the game begin. Now it will take some time until we have achieved the heat we need. Therefore, we can start forming the pizza base and garnish our pizza. Before we do, let's place that pizza stone on the grill here. This way we will imitate a stone oven.
Let's start forming the pizza base. By the way, do you see a rolling pin here? No? Well, you're not mistaken. This is not an accident. We don't need one because a true Italian pizza is formed by hands only. Okay, well, make sure the surface is dusted a bit with some flour. And what we do is we take our pizza bowl, flatten it, and use our hands to move the center outside to the edges. because what we want to have by the end is we want to have a thin disc inside and a crispy crust at the edges outside. And also make sure you flip it around time after time, because that will make your work much easier. Well, you can also start flipping the pizza disc around like a true Italian pizza maker. It's actually quite fun. All right. Now we can start garnishing the pizza base. Let's start with the tomatoes. All right. Let's cover the surface evenly. Okay. What comes next is mozzarella cheese. Place the slices evenly on our beautiful pizza. Then we need some olive oil. Start in the center and move outside. And finally, the basil leaves. Okay, darling, the oven is waiting for you. When the charcoal has turned white, we can finally start baking the pizza. Finished. Let's see what our Italian friend has got to say now.
Prego, signore. Would you try it, please?
Mamma mia! Va bene, come prima. Reminds me of mia mamma and the Bella Italia. Look at the colors. The green, the white, the red. Can you see how the colors reflect the colors of our national flag? You have done a great job. Un miracolo vero. Congratulazioni. You can hear, feel, and taste the crispiness. Molto bene, grazie.
What way to grate pizza is the better way now? The American way or the Italian way? Well, as usual, it's a matter of preference, a matter of taste. What matters is what we've learned. There are two ways to one of the world's greatest snacks. Whatever way you choose, just make sure you enjoy your meal.